Hi, Choice here. Thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Here I want to talk about habits. Why habits? There's a habitual way of thinking, there's a habitual way of speaking, there's a habitual way of hearing things, there's a habitual way of processing information, there's a habitual way of how we walk. We have a habit of we are in the habit of doing things a certain way. I talked about this before, but let me tell you a little bit more about habits. Habits informs your being on how to be. Yeah, habits inform your being on how to be. So, for as long as you maintain the habit or in the habit of doing something a certain way, what will happen is that way is perpetuated. Makes sense, right? It makes sense. It's perpetuated. But it's not just perpetuated in your doing this, it's perpetuated in the development of your next generations of cells. You inform your cells on how to be. So we'll constantly renew, everything is renewing. It's an ongoing process. We're developing new cells every moment. They're new cells. The body is creating itself over. And so this is how people, let me take a moment and go off a little bit, but this is how people can redo their body if they're not in a healthy state and they choose to be healthy and they get rid of some of the conditioning and the beliefs that they are not, so they create this. Now, this can be created through the psyche, or it can be created just in your dealings and how you deal with life, through stress and all types of things. We won't go into all of that. But you choose to be healthy or not. Yes, there's more to it. Yes, it can be genetically done. It can come through your DNA. It can come through various things, the archetype that you're playing your part in this lifetime. So yeah, there are times when you're not deliberately choosing from a human perspective, but somewhere from a spiritual perspective, you are choosing and going through something, though we may not truly understand all of that. But I'm speaking from the human perspective. To some degree, we have a choice to stay, especially now and nowadays. You can turn your life around. You can change your DNA. So you can turn your life around. You can turn your health around. You can change your DNA by your thinking. So any habitual thought that you have, is it a thought that is helping to improve your health and your well-being, or your state of mind, or even your state of consciousness and awareness? So you can deliberately choose to shift. So Choice here, thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. And I'll be back with a little bit more of this. I just wanted to leave a little word about how our habits inform ourselves on how to be, and how older generations of cells pass down the new information to the new cells, within continues life as usual. With that said, there is some information being unlocked within our DNA, or transmitted through the sun and through the atmosphere that's coming into us and providing us new ways and new information, and strengthening us in other ways that we are not really privy to as of yet, because we are so distracted by much of the stuff that's coming in and the programming that's coming in. And once we get beyond that, it's a new day. Much love. Thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Thank you. Much love. Thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Namaste. Oh, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and share. Share, 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 share. Much love. Thank you.